YouTube family, how are you doing? Welcome to the Gear Cave. Let's go check out some gear. Alright, so what are we checking out today? Well, we're checking out a guitar that's super popular apparently, and I'm just curious as to why these guitars are popular. Because these guitars never appealed to me, just because of the shape, because of the style of music they're typically associated with, and the price, really. They've never been on my radar. You see these guitars advertised all over the place, new or used. So, maybe I should take a look at this. So this episode is brought to you by The Barry Show. Yes, this is one of Barry's guitars. He's had it for a few years. He's been playing it, but it's never been set up, so to speak. This is just right from the store. Still has the original strings on it. And he just wanted me to go over it, to do to it whatever it needs, and to put some fresh strings on. So, let's have a look at this thing. And there you have it. It is the EPIPHONE ES 335, based off of Gibson's 335. And it's got like a 60-year heritage, right? Maybe not the Epiphone, but the Gibson. So this particular model goes for $899 Canadian. So let's say 900 bucks Canadian. So for someone like me here in PI to buy this new, I'd be looking at $1,039-ish, $1,040 after taxes. And that does not include a case. And with a, with a hollow body guitar or semi-hollow body, I think these have the solid maple block in the middle. You really want a hard shell case for this. You don't want to be carrying these in a little thin gig bag. So this thing has the back and the sides and the top are what they call the layered maple. Body, this is the cherry color. It's a gloss finish. This is what they refer as to the ES body shape. It's a semi-hollow body. The bridge and the tailpiece are what they call lock tone. Lock tone 2 pneumatic. It has 2 volumes, 2 tones. They say here CTS pots. Fingerboard inlays are Berloyd white dots. It has a glued-in set neck at the 19th fret. The neck material is mahogany. It has a rounded C shape. 22 frets. It has a Graphtec new bone nut. 43 millimeter wide. It has Epiphone El Nico Classic Pro humbuckers for the bridge and the neck. It's got a 24.724 scale length, so it's not quite 75. 10 to 46 strings, Epiphone Deluxe tuning machines. The fretboard is Laurel, so these are made in China. Nice finish, kind of transparent. You can kind of see that maple wood grain. Laurel fretboard. These look like medium frets. Definitely not jumbo. There's that new bone nut. Graphtec new bone. The Epiphone Deluxe tuners. This one has no volute on the back, so kind of a little scary because truss rod adjustment is here, so there's probably not a lot of meat in this area right here. So if you ever dropped it, it's gonna break. There's no doubt in my mind. The neck looks pretty good. They didn't really match the cherry color, but then again, you're going from a maple body to a mahogany neck. So it's probably hard to match that color, but the neck is clearly darker. And you can kind of feel that joint. Like it's not smooth. You can see it and you can feel it. On this side, not so much. I don't really feel that line. Got single ply binding around the top and the bottom of the body all the way up the neck. That binding stops at the nut. The binding looks pretty clean. If you want to be picky, there's some overspray on the binding, but nothing that jumps out at you. It looks pretty darn good. I notice this is all loose. I can just spin that. Hopefully it's not stripped. One thing that's really sloppy is the inside of these F-holes. So they just painted the inside of these F-holes black. And look at that. Looks like it's painted on a Friday afternoon. You see all the inconsistent paint there? It's kind of going over and above on the guitar. And then there's some spots missing. And then there's, like it's not a great job by any means. String alignment's perfect. Over the magnets, Everything's good. Intonation looks kind of set. We'll find out, I guess. And action is high. Action is high on this. Some of you are looking at that in the video thinking, that's not high. Well, no, maybe not in the video, but it's up there. Could be lower. And the action at the nut is high. So I'm sure those nut slots are going to have to be filed down to get the correct height for optimal playing experience. And yeah, that's it. Pretty simple, straightforward guitar. Bridge pickup is coming in at 7.75. The neck pickup is coming in at 7.53. So you're going to get half that, right, in the middle. You're going to get 3.82. So there you go. All right, we got the ES335 plugged into my Quilter Super Block amp going through a 110 cab. Amp is set pretty much flat. Let's see what it sounds like. Middle. Wow, nice. Neck position. That is big. Gotta try some drive on this thing. A little bit of drive on the bridge position. something like that. Middle position. Neck position. I'm impressed. This is awesome. Gonna try some high gain, of course. Holy moly. Wow, man, this is cool. So yeah, holds tune well, you know, considering old strings and stuff. I'm not sure if it's intonated, but I will tell you that it plays okay. The action's high, especially up here. It's really digging into the fingers, you know. Here's the thing, when you buy a guitar like this, it's not going to be perfect. It's never going to be perfect because it's going to different places where humidity is going to vary. You're going to have to tweak it. But the difference between $1,000 okay guitar and $1,000 good guitar is 20 to 30 minutes extra of tweaking, getting those nut slot heights just right, getting the intonation dialed in, getting the action nice and low, like these guitars are more than capable of being able to handle. That's what irks me about the price tag, is when you're buying an okay guitar. It shouldn't be okay for $1,039 without a case. It shouldn't be okay. It should be good. You know what? This is okay. Like it's, you know, it's okay. I'd go to a gig with it. I'd get by at the end of the night and then my fingers would be shredded. Oh, that's just because I'm not used to playing. No, it's not because you're not used to playing. It's because the guitar is not set up. You have to work to get this guitar to play. So we're going to try and make this thing so you don't have to work, so that it just plays like butter. From what I've just seen and felt, it's not going to take much. So let's get right to it. So I'm just going to take the strings off, and I'll give you a tuner spec. And then I'm just going to do the work. I'll come back when it's done. If there's a major issue, I will come back on. These tail pieces are cool because they have little tabs in the hook part. So when you slide it on, it ensures a tight fit, like it doesn't move around. But the problem is the posts are all loose anyway, right? So just like any Gibson or Epiphone or budget brand that I've worked on, like all these posts are loose. So you're still getting like play. But once there's string tension on there, that stuff isn't moving. Just like this. So I can tell that the bridge is really nice and snug on the bridge posts, but like that whole bridge wobbles around, right? Like side to side and up and down. So just like this for a post, I leave some exposed area. You don't want to kill the ground. And then when you put these back in, this plumber's tape makes threading in like super easy. Like it doesn't get in the way, it doesn't bind up. But then the difference is once you're set, there's no more play. Just threading in the second one. Now there's zero play. I'll check to make sure this bridge fits on there. Perfect. Well look, now there's no rattling. None. Nothing is moving there. Perfect. This will be great once we do the setup again. You have to put this stuff on there? No, that's just what I do. And I've never had a problem. So you guys can comment. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 to 1. Nice. All right, so the Epiphone ES335 is done. We polished the body. We tightened up these strap buttons. They were just loose, not stripped. These volume and tone pots were just not installed right. So when you had them full, it looked like they were on 0. Drove me nuts. So I just repositioned them. Intonation was out. I had to set the intonation after installing the new strings. Action height was lowered quite a bit. Check that out. It's pretty low. Neck relief is on the straight side. There's not a whole lot of relief in there. Nut slots were all filed. It's still settling. That's why I don't have the cover on there. And tuners, I lubricated them. Through the little access hole, I injected some synthetic grease in there. And yeah, that was about it. Frets needed to be polished, but there was one high one, which I was able to tap in with a fret hammer, and that was it. Try a little jam here. The EPIPHONE ES 335, all set up, ready to rock. Good guitar. For me, working on guitars, doing a bunch of setups on budget guitars, expensive guitars, whatever. I just feel that almost $1,040 for this and still having to get all this work done, you're pushing it, EPIPHONE. You're pushing it. Now, for you guys in the US, this thing is probably what, $4.99, $5.99? Now, if that was the Canadian price and you guys got this for like $3.99, that to me would be a good EPIPHONE price. It's a budget guitar, right? It's Gibson's budget line. I don't know why it's $1,000. At the very least, if you're going to retail it for $1,000, you shouldn't have to do any work to it other than tune the strings and maybe perform a truss rod adjustment. Everything else should be dialed in. The intonation should be dialed in from factory. Those nut slot heights should be dialed in from factory. Action height should be generalized, right? You might want to tweak that for your playing style. If you're dropping that kind of cash for something like this, that's in a store, mind you. It's been unboxed. It's been inspected again. Once at the factory and one at the store. There shouldn't be any necessary work that has to be done to this. That's just what I think. Any guitar over $500, to me, that should be the case. They're doing the work at the factory anyway. You might as well do it a little bit extra. And I know you guys saying, yeah, well, that cuts into profits. It also would cut down on bad reviews and returned guitars. So is that worth an extra 30 minutes? I would argue that it is. Sorry, that's just me. But Barry, thank you once again for this awesome opportunity to demo a highly coveted guitar. I hope you like it. I think it plays great. So to all of you at home, if you have one of these, let me know what your experience with them was. If the QC is pretty consistent, if it's just the typical work that I had to do to it, was the same issue with yours, or if they're all over the board. Some are excellent, some are not. I'd be curious to know. Anyway, you guys take care. God bless, and I'll see you in the next one.